It's been a rough few months for anybody who wanted to get into PC gaming or any type of system builder over the past few months, because obviously we had the GPU prices went out to wazoo because of the mining demand increase, but then we also have the fact that RAM prices are absolutely insane. It's hard to buy a DDR4 kit of 16 gigs for under $150 at this point, which it should be costing less than $100 because that's what it was. But then also you conflate those two things together and the prices of GPUs are way too high because memory for the GPUs is also priced exceptionally. So you remove the mining demand, you still have expensive graphics cards because the VRAM that they're using is way too high. Well, it looks like we have good news, but then also bad news in the form of the fact that Samsung, Hynix, and Micron are slapped with a class action suit over DRAM supply collusion and price gouging. So this is something that has been kind of floating around the rumor mill for a while. Basically the idea that all of these major memory manufacturers, Samsung, Hynix, and Micron, as we just mentioned, are getting together and agreeing that they're going to set their prices at a specific amount so that they can make a specific amount of profit on it, regardless of whether or not there's a supply issue. This article from Hot Hardware starts off by saying price fixing in the DRAM market is nothing new, unfortunately. As recently as January this year, a Chinese regulator accused Samsung and other chip manufacturers of artificially increasing their prices to pad their margins. Samsung is also no stranger to price fixing, as a $300 million judgment against it and Hynix was handed down in 2016 here in the United States. Today, however, Samsung and other DRAM manufacturers are facing another legal fight here in the US, courtesy of the law firm of Hagens Berman. That's just what a law office has to be called. So it's a class action lawsuit filed in the Northern District of Columbia and alleges, California rather, and alleges that Samsung, Micron, and Hynix conspired to artificially limit the supply of DRAM chips in an effort to keep prices high. And because the prices on their production line didn't increase, the higher prices that they agreed to and that they weren't going to go below allowed them to make greater profits than ever. And we just got Samsung's Q1 financial report on Friday, and we can see that they are making record profits. Some of that is because, you know, they have other areas outside of memory production. They also make mobile phones, they also make TVs, they also make a whole host of other different things. But then, I mean, their profits are up 50% last year, from last year. So if the profits are up exponentially higher, which nothing has really happened, and it's supposed to be a slow season for memory production, you could kind of, you know, extrapolate some data that maybe the higher prices have been good for everybody's bottom lines, regardless of whether or not there is a supply issue. Because if there is a supply issue, they have no reason to fix it, because if you can make more money off of selling less product, why would you make more product? It's simple economics. Like, if I could sell one burger for $15, why would I try to sell 3 burgers for $5 each? It just makes no sense. And it's the same thing that apparently looks like is happening with Samsung, Micron, and Hynix, and that's the reason why the class action lawsuit exists in the first place. So according to the law firm, the above trio of companies together command 96% of the DRAM market. So you can see why it's easy for them to collude. All three of them talk, and then nobody else can have a say in it. Their actions resulted in the price of a 4 gigabyte jumping 130%, which is cray-cray. Interestingly enough, the trio of chip manufacturers also experienced more than a doubling in revenue between Q1 2016 and Q3 2017. How convenient is what the article says. The lawsuit outlines the behavior, stating defendants each made public statements affirming their commitment to the common plan to curtail supply and to not compete for each other's market share by supply expansion. For example, defendants informed the other defendants through public statements that they would keep total wafer capacity flat in order to constrain DRAM supply growth. They would only grow DRAM supply between 15 to 20% in 2017, even as DRAM demand grew 20 to 25%, and that they would refrain from taking each other's market share. So that's rough. That is a huge accusation to be making, because that basically affects everything that's been happening in the PC market. Not only with GPU prices being out of whack, yes, that a lot of that is due to mining, but then at the same time, a $30 to $50 raw cost increase because of RAM pricing is also something that they were experiencing. So even with demand being lower, if we have normal demand, prices still have to be really high because their cost to produce is a lot higher. So that's been happening on the GPU front, but then even buying RAM for a system like Ryzen 2 just came out, the 2000 series, and you benefit from having faster RAM. And if you can't buy DDR4 at an appropriate price, why would you upgrade from your Sandy Bridge system? Why would you upgrade from your FX system? You have DDR3, you can actually use it, but then to actually afford, you know, to get 16 gigs of DDR4, it's going to cost you more than a freaking chip itself. on the cheaper end if you get like a Ryzen 3 2200G. Anyways, the point is it's just been screwing over everybody in the PC gaming industry, and I want to know what you all think, because obviously these are some pretty big accusations. So this has affected a lot of us. I can't count the amount of comments that I've gotten from you guys saying that you would love to build a new PC, but you can't because of everything that's going on. And I want to know how you feel about this. Does this price collusion make you happy, sad? Are you glad to know that Samsung's profits are up way over 2017? I want to hear how you guys are feeling about this down in the comments or in the community Discord. Let's have a conversation about that. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed us bringing this news. Even if the news made you sad, please hit the like button. Also, please get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content, because we talk about a lot of stuff. And not only do we do the news, we do actual hardware stuff too. So yeah, that's going to be good. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.